Alright, for today's notes, we're going over multiplying decimals and dividing decimals. And this might be some topics that some of you are comfortable with already, but I still want you copying down the notes and paying attention in case there's anything you forgot. Okay, so to start, we're going to do 4 examples, so make sure you leave room for those. Okay, so the first one is 127 times 9/10. Alright, and when we're multiplying decimals, it's the same as when you're multiplying whole numbers, but you just have to be careful about putting the decimal in the correct place in your answer. So to start, I'm just going to multiply this like I would if it was just 127 times 9. So I'm going to kind of ignore this decimal for now. And I do not need to line up the decimals when I'm multiplying or dividing, only with adding and subtracting. Okay, so I'm going to put a little note on the side. Don't need to line up decimals. Okay, so let me multiply. So 9 times 7 is 63. Carry the 6. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 6 is 24. And then 9 times 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. Okay, so right now I have 1,143, but I have one number that's behind the decimal here. So I know I need one number behind the decimal here. So my answer, or my decimal, will go right here. So just like they show over here, like if I do these two numbers multiplied, this first number has one decimal place. This one has two numbers behind the decimal. So if I do 1 plus 2, there should be 3 numbers behind the decimal. So 1, 2, 3. Same thing on this problem. So this number has 4 decimal places. This one has 2. So 4 plus 2 would be 6. So you know that there has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers behind the decimal. And let's say, so like here they ended up with 1368. Well, if this happens and you don't have enough decimal places, like I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, I just have to add in some placeholder zeros. So 0, 0. So now I have 4, 5, 6 decimal places. So the decimal would go right here. All right. Okay, second example. This one is 1.8 times 0.43. All right, same thing. So I'm just going to multiply these like it was 18 times 43. I don't have to line up those decimals. So 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Remember, before I can go on to the 4 here, I have to put in my placeholder 0. So I put a 0 here, because it's like I'm multiplying this by 40, not just by the number 4. Okay, so 4 times 8 is 32. Turn this into a 3. Okay, and then 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Remember, I add these two rows together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 5 plus 2 is 7, and 7. Okay, so for my decimals, I have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So I need 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So my decimal will go right there. All right, I'm going kind of quickly through these. So for either of these topics, if you're really struggling with multiplying or dividing, please let me know or look up some videos online. But yeah, I'd be happy to help you if you need extra help. Okay, let's go down to dividing. So if we look at the example they gave us here, 8.3 divided by 4.07. So basically the idea is that you don't want to have decimals in the divisor or the number that's out here. So basically what they're doing here is just saying, hey, why don't I just multiply this by 100? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. Why don't I multiply this by 100 or move the decimal over 2 places? But if I do that, I've changed this one as well. Okay. So it basically turns into 830 divided by 407. So this problem and this problem are exactly the same thing. We just rewrote them to make it a little bit easier. All right, so let's do 2 examples of dividing. All right, example 3 is 8 divided by 0.4. Okay, so top dog goes in the house, which is what we call this thing, and the bottom dog goes in the ditch or the outside, so that'd be 0.4. Okay, we don't want a decimal out here, so I move this over one place to turn into an integer. So I've moved this decimal one place over as well. So this turns into 4 divided by 80. And this is a problem that looks much more familiar. All we do is just multiply these both by 10 and move it over one decimal place. All right, 4 goes into 8 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract them. Bring down the 0. 4 goes into 0 0 times. Okay. 0 times 4 is 0. And we're done. So my answer is 20. And again, I'm going through these pretty quickly. So if you are really struggling with long division, please let me know and I would love to help you. Okay, last example. 0.312 divided by 0.12. Okay, so let me set it up. So top dog goes in the house. That's the first number. 0.312, oops, 12. Bottom dog goes in the ditch, so 0.12 is outside. I need to make sure I don't have a decimal here, so I want to move that over 2 places. So move this one over 2 places. So this turns into 12 divided by 31.2. Make sure I put my decimal up here. Okay. How many times does 12 go into 31? That would be 2 times, and I put that 2 over the 1. And then 2 times 12 is 24. I subtract these, and that's 7. I need to bring down the next number. How many times does 12 go into 72? And that's 6. And then 6 times 12 would be 72. Okay, subtract those. So my answer would be 2.6 because I don't have anything left. Okay. So again, when I'm multiplying, I need to make sure I have the right number of decimal places. So here there was 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal. So there needs to be 1, 2, 3. And then down here, in the divisor position, or the number out here, you don't want to have decimals. So you just want to make sure you move the decimals the same amount here as you do over here.